God, there I am.
All right, and here we are today with the one and only.
I consent to being recorded. There you go.
Consents to being recorded. That's perfect. Scobie Ryder joins us today for the third time on the Church of Rock. Welcome back, Scobie.
Third time's the charm, so they say, Derek.
They do, yeah. And this is the third time, and I appreciate you being back here.
My pleasure. Really, it's always great to hook up with you and have a chat.
Well, the last time we talked, the first two times we talked, we actually talked a lot about, your association with you and the Bay City Rollers. I don't want to base our entire interview around that, of course, but I'd like to know that you started out as a folk singer and in Glasgow.
Yeah, well, I was a big kind of amateur fan of music, and I'd bought an Akai sound reel-to-reel, recorder, and I bought the first synthesizer, the SY77, the first Yamaha synth, right? And it was the SY1. I can't remember, but anyway, I paid £2,000 for a synthesizer, which was monophonic.
Wow.
It was the first one that was available in a commercial way. And I started recording sound-on-sound recordings in my apartment in Glasgow. And the next thing you know, I had this guy had said he was doing a film on Glasgow. He was doing a film and he needed some songs. So I sat up, I stayed up all night, all day, and I wrote an album's worth of material in less than a week. Yeah. And then eventually this guy was R.D. Laing, the very famous psychologist, R.D. Laing, Knots, K-N-O-T-S, I'm bad because mummy says I'm bad. He's a psychologist, psychiatrist, and I was going out with one of his daughters. And that's how I made the connection to R.D. Laing, who was always on mushrooms. But anyway, a long story short, I did the songs. He didn't want them. He wanted traditional, old songs. And I said, okay, threw him out of my flat. And then I went around and I went to a local record label and I played the demos. And the guy said, these are great songs. And he set me up with the McCready brothers who did Where's Your Mama Gone, that big pop song from that time. And McCready brothers had a studio, and I went in with my guitar, no rehearsals, never met the drummer before, it's like one of those. And we laid all the tracks in 3 days.
Wow, that was the beginning. What was it like growing up in Glasgow in a nutshell? Was it hard? Was it pretty rough?
It was tough. It was a time. I mean, I carried a weapon. It was that harsh in the city. You had to have a weapon on you, or else you might end up with the Glasgow kiss and the whole cut. So I was one of the few of my friends who didn't have a scar on his face. I mean, there was a lot of that going on. Yeah.
Wild.
Crazy. Yeah.
The last time we talked, this has kind of been something I wanted to ask you. You were talking about possibly putting out a blog about the big lie about the entertainment industry. Did you ever follow up with that, or is that something you're still working on?
Well, I've got my ideas for it, and I'm talking to quite a few friends of mine, Alan Mayer from The Only Ones, a couple of the guys from Queen, people that I've met over time. I'm sounding out to see who'd be willing to say something, and it's a mixed bag. So I might have to go out on my own and just do it and just talk about my own experiences. I mean, I can tell you that Robert Stigwood, who owned the Bee Gees, Robert Stigwood, RSO Records.
Yeah, you told me about him last time, about the whole knee thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was just one of many predators in the business at that time. And there's a lot of that going on. So it was quite a difficult thing to maintain your integrity, make some progress. And most of the people I saw on television, I knew from that time that they'd compromised themselves in some way, So it was a bit of a strange time. But yeah, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to wait another while until I've got my permanent residency here in Paraguay, and then I'm going to set up for the big lie. Yeah.
Awesome. I know you're still releasing music a lot. I know that the last time we talked on here, we talked about Itso and about your guitar player that was from Germany named Martin, correct?
Martin Hanisch, yeah, he's a great talent. Yeah, fantastic.
Are you still working with him?
Yeah, well, I mean, what's happened is on the back of, we did 68 songs in 18 months, right? On the back of that recording work, he got lots of clients and he went into full-time production, working with clients who had demos and they wanted to make them into masters. So I'm not creating with them anymore, but I'm still very much in touch. I mean, I've got 4 or 5 different clients, if you will, or people I work with around the world. Martin's one of them. Alan Mayer from The Only Ones in London is another one. You know, I've got people in LA. I've got people just around the world that I work with or write with or whatever. So if I'm not busy with one, I'm usually busy with another or a client. I'm for hire.
That's awesome. A couple people left questions for you. One of them is, if you could collaborate with anybody musically, who would that be?
Ooh, that's a tricky one these days. Post Malone, what about that?
Post Malone, yeah. He seems to get around, man.
Well, he's a great talent, there's no doubt about that. And a kind of messed up guy, so I think we got on very well.
You got some common denominators there. Another one. Is there any chance of Itso or yourself releasing any music on CD or any live performances?
That's a tricky, sticky wicket, that one. Unfortunately, Martin's in Germany. I'm in South America. The only thing we could do is virtual performances, you know, just recording and working through video and through digital media. There's little chance of doing any gigs. And as far as CDs and all that, I don't even have a CD player. I mean, I don't know where anybody who has.
Well, I keep telling certain friends of mine, you know, some people collect those things, you know, CDs and vinyl, but it's not the majority of the people anymore.
No. I mean, the whole idea of making money from music has kind of gone down the pan, Derek, to be very honest. I mean, I've got private clients that pay me for the work I do, and that's how I still earn income. And I'm on soundbetter.com. Soundbetter. That's one of the sites that I work from. And if you look on Soundbetter, you'll find I've had like 60 grand off of that site, you know. So, I mean, I'm busy working in private collaboration with clients who need my input to finish their work.
Nice. As far as music goes, what kind of stuff do you listen to when you're at home? Do you have diverse taste? Do you listen to a lot of music?
I listen to everything. Steely Dan is one of my favorite go-tos. Asia, you know, I like so many different things. It drives me crazy sometimes. You know, there's just so much out there. There's a guy called Jerry Williams, you probably never heard of, but if you get a look, Jerry Williams, he wrote loads and loads of songs for other people. Jerry Lynn Williams, fantastic singer. He sounds the blackest guy, and he was actually very white. I was one of my heroes. Yeah.
Awesome. I got to ask you this, man. Back in the day when you were a much younger man, before you were married to your wife, respectively, were you a womanizer kind of guy?
I was the worst womanizer kind of guy. I have to say, I had absolutely no scruples whatsoever. And I did some terrible things, which I enjoy immensely. Yeah, I mean, if you can think of it, I probably tried it, Derek.
Enough said. So when you go to write a song, I know this is more involved than I'm making it so simple, but when you go to write a song, how does that start for you? Do you start with a melody, a song title, or are there various ways?
Well, I've got a little book that I keep by and I just get phrases and I write them down on little bits of paper, and, you know, I mean, I just pick randomly up here. It says, dead dirt, it's gonna hurt. Right. I don't know why I died, but I'm glad I did. You know, I just write things down and then they percolate away in the back there somewhere, and then suddenly I think, oh, that's that phrase I wrote down, and I just get a syncopation. I use a method where the beat and the rhythm of the words provide the melody.
Awesome. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Your stuff's so diverse. I thought, how does he write songs? So I figured it was probably a combination of things.
Yeah, it comes together. It's not, it's usually, I mean, basically, if I see an arrangement of words and I read them, I get a melody from that. It's just one of those funny things. I mean, I've written 3,000 songs.
Wow.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Absolutely. 47 years of non-stop writing.
And also, whenever you do a cover, you always put your own unique spin on it, too.
I'm glad you said that. I mean, I never really thought of myself as a singer, Derek. You know, I was never thought of myself. I think of people like Frankie Miller or, you know, other great Scottish, you know, artists. I never really thought of myself as a singer, but I always thought of myself as a rocker, you know, so it's one of those things. I give it my best. My next pitch out is the Adele song "Hello," which is quite an unusual blend of her vibe and my vibe, you know, so it's very strange.
Yeah, you did a great version of that song, "Hello," which I'm gonna play on the show as soon as this interview is over.
Fantastic, thanks so much. I hope people enjoy it. There's no disrespect, but I don't know if Adele would like it.
You never know, man. I think she would. I think she would. You've moved recently, not too recently, but you in the not too distant past, you moved from Cambodia after being there for a long time to Paraguay.
6 years, yeah, 6 years in Cambodia, yeah, and then back to Japan, and now I'm in Paraguay for 1 year already.
Wow, it's been a year. What are the major differences between living in Cambodia and Paraguay in a nutshell?
Well, Cambodia is a third world country. Paraguay is not a third world country. You know, it's got facilities, roads, fire brigades. It's got clinics, hospitals, dentists. You know, it's got all the things that you would be hard pressed to find in Cambodia. I mean, outside of a major city like Phnom Penh or something. But yeah, I mean, it's a huge cultural difference too. This is the Latina. It's a whole kind of vibe. It's fantastic. The people are so welcoming and charming and willing to help. I mean, it's very strange. A complete stranger saying, "Buen dia, senor." And you're like, what? What's happening? I mean, when you walk up the street anywhere, people are, "Hello, buen dia, ¿cómo está? ¿Qué tal?" Do I know you? No, they don't. They're just being very, very nice.
Interesting. Another question I have that I was dying to ask you, because you're outside of the United States, what is the basic perception of America and American politics over there we are at?
They don't like Americans because of the foreign policy. I mean, people look at Venezuela, Guatemala, you know, I mean, the history of interference and influence from the American empire in South America. And there's not a lot of welcome, come on in. I mean, not people, but the government's not, it's not popular at all. In fact, it's a word I don't want to use, but in South America, North America is seen as a bit of a terrorist, you know. It's a bit sad, really, yeah.
I can see why. I mean, you know, the proof is in the pudding.
Well, it's all over the place. I mean, since the 73 wars, I think. I mean, I've got a song I did on YouTube called Made in America, 50 Kinds of War, right? And it's a great song about Mickey Mouse and, you know, all the good stuff and then all the bad stuff. You know, it's so weird. I'm deeply disappointed in what it looks like a banana republic now. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, things are getting really crazy in the world, that's for sure, Scobie.
Yeah.
Tell How long have you been married to your lovely wife? I know she's from Japan. How long have you guys been together?
It's 14 years this year. On the 3rd of September, it'll be 14 years. We're going out for a nice dinner here in town.
Well, congratulations on that longevity. You guys look real happy together in the
I'm
photos.
so happy. I mean, we're like a couple of teenagers. We hold hands everywhere when we're out, we're walking. People are pointing to us because there's this old man with this very practical, very beautiful young woman. She's 30 years younger than me, so it's quite a lot. People think I've adopted.
Oh. You're both very fortunate.
I'm very lucky, I have to say. She's a diamond.
I'm going to ask one question regarding Les McEwen in the old days.
Sure.
Do you have any particular favorite songs that you composed that Les McEwen recorded back in the day, or any favorite albums?
Well, actually, one of the songs I thought was a great song for him was Replaced by a Microchip when we were the Mighty Micro. And it's a reggae beat with a commercial pop song. It's a great song. And another song called Just Another Day. Afghanistan is rising. It was very contemporary and quite political. He did some good performances. I've got to say, I got some good stuff out of him. Oh my God! Let me just stop that phone. Stop. Sorry about that. I beg your pardon. That was weird. I don't get calls in South America very often.
Right when we started doing this video, I put my phone on airplane mode, and I'll be darned if somebody didn't call right after that and it went through. I had to press it on. It actually stopped our interview for about 3 seconds.
Never mind. No problem. I'm sure you can chop around it or whatever, Derek.
Oh, it's no problem at all, man. It's live radio. That's what I call it.
Well, as I say, I've got a face for radio.
Have you done any radio work?
Yeah, I've done. I mean, I obviously, when I was touring and working, I did lots of television and hundreds of radio stations all across everywhere. We used to do those. This is WKFL 96.6, and you do hi everyone, and then you do another big list. This is TDFL, and you do all the cues for all the stations. God, that was the hardest part of being in the music business.
So what's the latest you're creating right now? Anything in the works right now?
Well, I've got I've written some musicals. I've written a vampire musical called The Vampire Rose about the Queen of Vampires, and I've got an interest in that from an Australian entrepreneur. And also, I've been working with a guy in London who's an American billionaire, and I've done hundreds of songs for him over the last 3 years, and he's doing 3 musicals back to back. It's the Iliad, Homer's Iliad, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, all as separate but connected musicals. So I'm busy.
Nice. Now, I know the last time we talked, you said people could reach you at itso.com, itsomusic.com. Is that still the same email or website?
Sure. Yeah, and Scobie Ryder at Gmail, you can get me there as well, no problem.
Nice. So yeah, itsomusic.com or Scobie Ryder at Gmail, definitely. Yeah, it's always interesting to see what stuff you're putting out there, whether it's originals or covers. I'm always the first to try to hit click and listen to your music. Got to say so much.
The covers was a bit of an experiment. We wanted to flavor it up and see if we could do rock versions of things like "Hey Ya, You Really Got Me," and I picked a Bob Dylan song, just trying to bring the Itso flavor to quite famous songs. Really, that was the idea.
I love it. Well, we're going to roll into a song by Adele called Hello. How long did it take you to record this song?
Oh, it's not more than 3 days. It was about 3 days.
Nice.
Lots of harmonies there. I did all the vocal work and Martin did the rest of the programming and the guitar and bass. So it was just the 2 of us.
Nice. Well, I really appreciate you having you on. I wish I had more of a talk show format so I could keep you on longer, but is there anything you'd like to throw out before we depart today?
Well, just a little thing find your passion and never let go. There you go. That's it.
That's very wisdom filled. I love it.
Okay, Derek, thank you so much for letting me come on, and hello to all your listeners, viewers, whatever. All right, bye-bye.
Cheers, Scobie. Thanks so much. Keep in touch, man.
Okay, mate. Cheers. Bye-bye for now.